Hello, Dale the Librarian. I'm going to show you some of the core features of EndNote Basic, sometimes referred to as EndNote Web. Those names have gone back and forth, but this is the version that you can use for free here at the University of Utah. You can find it at the Marriott Library databases under the letter E. Just so you know, at software.utah.edu, there is the full version of EndNote, which is a database that sits on your computer desktop. So it's a different version. This is the free version, and that one is the one that you pay money for. So when you go into EndNote Basic for the first time, you're going to have to register and put in your information. So I wanted to pass that because you've all done registrations before. This is what the interface looks like. You're going to have a list of all your references, unfiled references, and you're going to be able to put them into groups. Essentially, if you're doing a bibliography, you'd put it into a themed group to organize it. How do you get them in here is the first question. How to import. In some of the databases, this is an EBSCO database, when you click on an article, you can look over on the side or somewhere in here, there'll be an export or a variety of different language for like getting a citation around, depending on what you're looking at. On this one, it's export. When you see this list, there's a whole bunch of other ones that you can use, and every database will have a different set and different way of doing it. But right here, it says direct export to EndNote Web. Again, it used to be called EndNote Web, now it's EndNote Basic. And I click on there, and it's going to give me a message. Since I'm already in session in this tab, it says I've imported a record. I can close this and go over here. When I hit reload, I got something about motorcycling in the Ho Chi Minh Trail, and there it is. If you go in here, by clicking on the title, you can see the metadata that has been imported. It's not always accurate, so I would encourage you to go in here and edit as you will. But this one looks pretty good. It's got the volume issue, pages, 8 through 8. You might just do page 8. It's machine generated. There's a whole bunch of other ones. If you see things that are empty that you can fill out, you could type in whatever number that you wanted to, if you find it. So it's not always complete. It just depends on how much is indexed in this particular record. But it does a pretty good job. Sometimes it adds too much information as well. So you can, if you don't want any of this stuff, like in the notes field, you can just delete it and edit as you go. And then when you click save, it's your own version of the metadata for that particular article. So I'll go back to all my references. So that one's still there. And you can see when it was added, so it'll get that date accessed in there. Another one, in the library catalog, you can do the same thing, but it feels different. So I'm going to look at altruism in the American motorcycle culture. When you're in this level, it might dump you into a particular database, and you can try finding it. I couldn't find one for ProQuest. They do have a citation generator. For what it's worth, you can grab it that way and then put it in by hand, bit by bit. But if you find something in the library catalog, there's kind of a sly little way of finding it. If you click on the View It Details or Reviews and Tags, any one of those will pop up this little iframe. When you go over to Actions, there is EndNote Basic, and there's some other ones as well. So this is Altruism, American Motorcycle Culture, and on this one it popped up. And I'll go back over here, and I'll reload again. And I'll go back to my references. And there's my citation. So depending on the style that you're going to do, you might have to correct. So if you're doing APA, you're going to have to do lowercase for a lot of these. It's not going to automatically format them, but it dumps it in there, so it's a lot easier to manage than if you were just going by yourself. So if you notice over here, this unfiled list popped up a couple of times. How do I add these to my own grouping? And I'm obviously doing something on motorcycling. You just click on it, and you can add to a group, and I already have some built right here, or I can just do a new group. And I'll call this one motorcycling. And you'll see all my bibliographies over here put together. You can edit this as you go, and you can change what groups it goes to. You can duplicate resources. So if you're doing a bibliography mid-semester and then finishing another one later in the semester, you can have them have duplicate information in there. It's not a big deal. You can make as many groups as you like. The cool thing about this is now when you want to go and export and make a bibliography, And I would recommend not necessarily using it inside here, but using it so you can cut and paste into another document. So if you're doing Google Docs or Microsoft Word, you can just cut and paste. You go over, and there's several different moments. My favorite is bibliography, under Format, Bibliography. And all you have to do is pick your group of citations that you want it to format. And you can even do your unfiled list. You can do my motorcycling. And then you have to pick from a dizzying array of citation styles. My favorite one is APA, but there's MLA, there's IEEE. Let's do British Journal of Educational Tech, just for the sake of fun. And the file format, you can export in HTML, TXT, RTF, and you'll get there. I'll do the TXT just so you can see it in line with the text. You can email it to yourself, or just for this one, we'll just do preview and print. And there's my citations, done in that British Journal of what have you. Now you'll notice again that the caps are different, so you might have to change some of those things. So think of this as more of like a draft of a citation generation, but it gets you in the ballpark, and so you can comb through and see those things. So take a look at my other video for Noodle tools, and I will talk to you soon. Hopefully this helps out.